I'm pleased to introduce my friend Kevin Sur, who's going to talk to us about wearable deployable PIO stuff, is what the slide says. So with that, Kevin.
Thanks, Sarah. Hi, everybody. I'm Kevin. This is my first time at IAEM. I like long walks on the beach. I enjoy terrible... No, just kidding. Hi, everybody. I'm here to talk a little bit about some of our equipment that we, as public information officers, use for in-field deployments. We were the fortunate recipients of the NSSE event, or the National Special Security event here in Northeast Ohio for the Republican National Convention earlier this year, and we were fortunate enough to have this. So to kind of give you folks some background on the Republican National Convention, or what kind of things that we were faced with, I put together a few PowerPoint slides because this is a talk, right? So, some backgrounds on the RNC. We had 2,400 delegates from across the country attend, including alternate delegates. We had about 1,200 different events throughout the whole week, as well as an influx of 50,000 plus visitors into Cleveland. We had over 1,000 individuals that were registered to protest. That's I don't know how many people were unregistered to protest, but they were all there. And if you look at some of the numbers, we had over 15,000 national media and international media that were credentialed for the big event. This was considered an NSSE, or National Special Security event, and the lead agency was the United States Secret Service. So some of the fun things that we got a chance to deal with, unfortunately for us, were a bunch of protesters, and we dealt a lot with them, protesting all kinds of different things. And we were fortunate enough to have them there to express all their concerns and all their First Amendment rights, which were great. However, sometimes they did not abide by the rules that were set up for the protection and safety of people that attended. Primarily, this talk is supposed to be about equipment and stuff. So our biggest piece of equipment and biggest use of software was really Periscope. So social media was a gigantic piece of what we did and how we communicated to the general public about stuff that was happening. We used Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, all kinds of different social media services, and we were also monitoring those services for information that was being pushed out. But oftentimes people always ask us what kind of stuff that you have, and Mary Jo and everybody else wanted to know what kind of stuff that we carry. And as much as I would love to carry a backpack and be cool and carry around a Pelican case with all kinds of cool information and stuff that we had, we just didn't have time to do that, nor did we have the space. All of our equipment was held on our person, which means it was sitting either on me, on my vest, in my person, on a fanny pack. It was on my person, deployable and carried everywhere we went. So all the equipment I show you today will be stuff that we carried with us all the time. So as an example, this is some of the pictures from the RNC. You can see this is what we were wearing. All of us had ballistic vests on that were deployed downtown. That's Jen Chach and I. She's from Cleveland Police, and we were kind of doing the PIO stuff in the field. On the far right-hand side, that was a very long picture from far away from our fellow officers that were on the roof observing things. As you can see, we were doing some live field interviews with everything in hand. We had to try to be as low profile because of the protests, because of everybody that was out there. We tried to remain as low profile as possible. So for us, it was very important for us to have everything fast, easy, lightweight, or fairly lightweight for us to carry. And so some of the small things, I'll show you what they look like today, so perhaps you can consider using them for some of your PIO or Public Information Officer deployment kits. This is it. Are you excited? Yeah, I see you smiling, baby. This is it. It's all about size. Stop laughing. This is a monopod, and as you can see, we have a mount for our cell phones. As much as everybody wants to carry a digital SLR or all that fancy camera, reality is you're not going to carry a digital SLR with a ballistic vest. You're going to break something. So the reality is you're going to carry a cell phone that's encased in a ruggedized case attached to a monopod because it's smaller than a tripod. I know it doesn't have the perfect ability to stand up in zero, but this one has like little feet, so you are able to use that. This one is specifically made by Manfrotto, but there are many monopods out there that have the mini feet. On top of that, if you look at our mount itself, the mount actually clamps down on the phone and it holds it very sturdy. So it's a very sturdy clamp for your phone. On top of that, it allows access to the end ports on the phone itself. Some of the new Osmo type gyroscopes and all that other fun stuff that you have, they block the access points to the sound as well as the actual charging ports. So for us, access to those ports were very important because we need to have information that goes into them, whether it's audio or video, whatever all that is. So it leaves us open for any kind of other things that we need to add into it. On top of that, it allows us full access view with no problem seeing the screen, or it unobstructs the actual lens on the outside. So it allows us the ability to have full functionality of our phone and not have any problems. Incidentally, if you're smart enough, you can go on Amazon and buy this exact same mount, and also buy the same mount for your AR. So if you wanted to, you could actually mount this to your gun. So if you ever wanted to do that, you could. All the extra gobbledygook that's hanging off of the side are wireless mics. And as you find when you're doing live broadcasts, specifically for public information officers, you get a chance to see that audio is an incredible piece of communicating the correct information. And so for us, we utilize wireless mics. I'm actually talking on one wireless mic, including a wired mic. Our options were slightly different. We ended up going with this mic here. As you can see, it's slightly larger because size matters. Stop smiling. This one was a little bit better for us because size matters, is because I don't have to hold the mic so close to the person I'm interviewing. It makes it a little easier because I can hold it at the bottom and be able to be far away from the person, giving them enough personal or space for them to do that. On top of that, if you give them a wireless mic, the person that you're interviewing will likely take their time and talk about whatever they want and have control over the message. If I am interviewing somebody and I have control over the mic, I can take that mic away and identify how fast or how slow the pace of the interview is going to go. So for us, this heavy-duty wireless mic worked out very well. It's very simple. You can change out the actual mic itself to the receiver port. And we went the long route. This microphone was specifically designed for the Olympics, specifically for, I think, the news broadcast NBC station. So this mic was actually very beneficial for us. When we could not use a wireless mic because of the 15,000 media folks that were there, credentialed and broadcasting and using the same frequencies, we went to a wired system. As basic as can be, but we were trying to make sure that we had everything and all that stuff was backed up. And we actually used the wired mic more frequently than the wireless mic. So for us, that was very, very beneficial. Now, many of you are thinking that you want to get a cheap mic. You can buy the $50 special at Walmart and have no problems. That's great. However, those mics are likely unidirectional, which means it picks up sound from everywhere around you. Imagine if you're reporting live from the scene in the middle of a protest and all you want is one person speaking. Instead, with your omni or unidirectional mic, you now pick up everybody else talking. That's bad. Imagine on your professional PIO feed, you now have a bunch of protesters swearing, saying a bunch of bad things that you don't want your constituents to hear. So for us, it was important for us to pick a very directional mic. So this one, it picks up all the voices, all the sounds that are directed at wherever you're talking to versus just around that. So finding the specific mic is actually really important. So spend some time at your local music store to figure out the right mic to choose from and all that kind of stuff. So mics are very important. Since we were deployed out in the field a lot, we did not have access to power plugs and charging our devices, which is constantly a problem. And many of you probably carry around small battery packs. For us, this battery pack was a savior. You're probably thinking, wow, Kevin, that's a big battery pack. That's huge. It's gigantic. You have such big things. Stop laughing, for real. No, I understand that this is big, I understand this is heavier, and I understand that this is a larger battery pack than you would normally carry. However, if you think about it, it's the same size as an AR mag, right? An AR mag? Oh my God, what are you talking about? It's the same size as the AR mag that fits in your vest. So, hilariously, this battery pack fits very well and sits very nicely in our vests. So these are the kind of things that actually make a difference when you're deployed out and all your resources, all your equipment actually sits in your equipment vest very well. So small, dumb things like battery packs that fit actually do make a difference. And we have had many times where we've encouraged people to use these battery packs to charge all their devices, not only their cell phones, anything that they have. And they're all USB related. So as you can see on the top, they're all multi-port, USB 1A and 2.1, et cetera, et cetera. So these are all multi-use battery packs that we use relatively consistently throughout the field. The other piece that I'm not quite sure if you can see is an iRig Pre. This is that takes the sound from the wireless mics into the actual mobile device. This is a killer $60, and it has saved us a lot. And we can use this for multiple different devices, for multiple different mics plugged into the actual phone. So again, very minimal investment for field PIOs works out very well, and for them to be able to provide good sound coverage. Now, a lot of this seems to be very extra money that you need to spend. Actually, it's not. In the crowd of people in the mess of protesters, like these are the kind of things that actually made a difference. And when we could not get our signal out, by doing things live broadcast, we were able to override the national media message. When they got it wrong, we were able to correct them. So, for example, one of the international broadcasts, when the protesters decided to light a flag on fire, one of the international broadcast stations said that they were lighting a flag on fire, and the public safety agencies were spraying them with pepper spray and mace and stopping their First Amendment right. Actually, that wasn't even true at all. The protester had actually lit himself on fire. He had lit a fellow protester on fire, and the cop said, "Hey, dude, you're on fire. Hey, dude, you're on fire," and proceeded to deploy his fire extinguisher to put the protester out. But when they got the news got that wrong, we ended up trying to correct them, and the easiest way for us to do that was to do it on Periscope, broadcast live from the scene, give them the actual count, the actual numbers, and what was going on. We saw a gigantic spike in people's responses on, "Thank God you're pushing the correct information," because we did not receive the right information. And in the melee of 100 to 200 to 300 people in a one city intersection, it was difficult to get the right messaging out. So again, going to live broadcast things like Periscope, Facebook Live, YouTube Live is definitely the way to go, especially when you're in a large, high-visibility national special security event. So I get that you want to package the video. I get that you want to put an intro, an outro, all that other fancy stuff, but in the end, it's all live broadcast. So these are the kind of things that helped us out, and we'll likely probably do a full-on PowerPoint, big presentation, and we'll be able to fillet all the gear that we had out, but I was just asked to give a quick 5-10 minute talk on what's going on and what we use during the RNC. So hopefully this has helped you. It's helped us out a lot as we played around with all the different kind of equipment, things that worked well for us during the Republican National Convention. So do I answer questions? Or do I just start singing? You never closed your eyes. Just kidding. This is where you chime in. So for more questions, you can follow me on social media. I am at Russ Nivek, RUSNIVEK, otherwise known as Kevin Sur. All right, have fun, peeps. Peace.